How we doing?
Good evening, everyone.
I was off for a week. Off my game.
Yeah, it was last week was all right. It was info full, but it wasn't Hollywood worthy. No special effects or logos or anything like that. But
That's
all right.
why I'm on the payroll. I'm not really on any payroll.
Right. All right.
Let's see. Not too much housekeeping stuff to go over. No, just the usual. I do have something that we can show. Where do I have it? I have it around here somewhere.
What's that?
There we are.
Oh.
There we are. No, I don't have that. Tags. Things are getting sketchy. This Saturday, they've got a horror night going on.
Weekly now, not bi-weekly.
So they'll be having Mike Ruth, Kelly Williams. I don't think I've heard of them.
No, Maria the Wolf is new.
Yeah, Maria the Wolf and Michael Berglund.
Mm-hmm.
All really good stuff. Michael Berglund's been doing lots of sketches and stuff on his page, if you check that out. Actually, yeah, he's doing storyboards and stuff. Doing really well.
Yeah.
As for Big Country, I don't know what Big Country's got going on right now. I think they've had quite a few exclusive released, and they're just sort of in that lull period between their next. But I think Justin's got an auction or two going on right now.
Yeah, always got something going on.
What else? The 204 comics. I don't think I was even there last week. I don't remember.
It's so hard to remember nowadays because everything comes out such a weird schedule.
I'm so swamped with school. Yeah. I think every day is the wrong day. So
every day's yeah.
And then those Natdaddy collectible guys up there, that logo. I hear they're doing okay, getting by.
Let's address some Natdaddy stuff first before we start.
I have some stuff at the end for it.
Oh, you got set up for then? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's just jump into it then.
So yeah, let's jump. And I gotta say, I love that poster that they've got up for the tag stuff. That's one of my favorite ones they've done so far.
Well, that and the wrestling poster from last week has been really cool, and
the Muppets, which was a great turnout as well.
Yeah, that Muppets one was a good show.
Okay, let's get on. We could talk about that one all night.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot from the big two this week. In fact, there's Iron Fist, the new Iron Fist
Nothing
series.
DC. Always heavy indies, and half the books this week.
Half the books are from the same.
From one group. It seemed like all their books got released at once. That's kind of cool because we've been looking forward to a lot of those books since like before the new year. Yeah.
October, December.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, but Iron Fist #1, and there's a new Iron Fist, as you can see from the cover.
Yeah.
And it's not Danny Rand. I thought maybe they were doing some weird Elseworld Shang-Chi thing at first, because that's a very Shang-Chi pose.
Nope.
But
it's not Shang-Chi.
No, it's not. You read the story, and you find out that it's actually another character who's been recently reintroduced into the Marvel mythos. I don't know in comics. I think this is his first reintroduction there, but
no,
definitely in TV.
He's one of the agents of Atlas.
Yeah?
Yeah, I don't want to say which member it is yet. I'll go figure it out. But yeah, he's one of the agents of Atlas for all those Asian heroes.
Yeah, since I thought this character had been dead a long time, so...
No, he just died at the end of that one story arc there that they mentioned there. Yeah, it's good. I see where it goes. I think if it stays like that, it's kind of cool. He doesn't kill the dragon to get the powers of the Shang-Chi, or of the Chi, I should say.
The Iron Fist?
Yeah, but it's Chi powered. Yeah, he gets the powers a different way, and it's really kind of neat. I was surprised to see who the new Iron Fist is, but at the same time not. Kind of tied a lot of things together, so that's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was enjoyable. It was a decent Marvel book because a lot of times they're not so much lately. I'm interested to see where it goes.
Yeah.
Nice art on it too.
Yeah, it's got a brilliant cover.
Yeah, awesome cover, and yeah, I just really enjoyed it a lot. I like an Iron Fist. I like the whole.
Yeah, you like Iron Fist, but you never liked the Iron Fist that they did for the Netflix shows.
Because he wasn't prepared properly.
No.
Yeah, I like that whole mythical kung fu kind of stuff. So
yeah,
very cool.
And that's all we've got for really the two giants. Next up, we got some IDW stuff, which I was thinking before. Oh, I didn't clean this up. What a mess I am today.
That's good.
But
as long as the sound's going.
Yeah, sound's going.
And we're recording. Yeah.
That's G.I. Joe Saturday morning adventures.
This
So
was awesome. I've been waiting
they're-
for this for a while.
well, yeah, when they go off the air back in the 80s when.
Oh, but yeah, but I mean, just the once they announced it, I was super happy about it.
Yeah.
The comic cover is exactly what the artwork is inside. It looks, sounds, and it feels just like the original cartoon. Like even the same kind of silly storyline. Oh, let's find pieces to do something to end a thread or to save the world.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It's like one of their
enjoyed it.
regular 3-episode arc things they did and put it onto VHS as G.I. Joe the movie,
Yeah.
Cobra Strike.
Yeah, and I missed out getting they have a 1 in 10 cover of VHS one. I hope I can try and find it sometime.
I thought about starting off with this book and doing one of our old G.I. Joe intros.
I was gonna dress up
but
maybe.
I don't want to get those copyright strikes anymore. It's
Yeah.
too much of a hassle.
This book is selling out in a few places I saw.
Yeah,
I think a lot of people kind of under-ordered it.
the regular G.I. Joe series doesn't sell super high,
No.
so I think this was under-ordered. But they should have maybe thought about it when thinking how well the Batman 89 and Superman 78
That's what I was
or
thinking
whatever
too.
it was.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And there's only 2 issues on this.
Even
there's one more.
X-Men 97, all that stuff is super
Oh
popular.
yeah, the X-Men 97.
Next up, we've got some Source Point Press.
I like the Source Point Press.
Now, this book is all over the place, and not the book itself, but its release schedule.
Yeah.
This book was supposed to release, I think, quite a bit earlier, but it was definitely set for last week. But it only came this week, and this week was scheduled to be the second issue.
And I think it comes out next week or the week after.
Yeah, so they're all pushed back in such a weird way. But, yeah, Cover of Darkness from Source Point Press.
Yep. This one is written by George McCall and Chris Cam, and then the art is by MJ Hillman. And the art on here is really nice. I quite liked it. It was very, very sharp in some scenes, and then other scenes it was kind of more of a painted, sketchy type of thing. And what it is here is you got 2 stories going on at the same time. One's going on in the past, and one's going on not the present, but at the present time for them. It's kind of in the, I would say probably about the 1800s, I think it said in there. And what it is you got old Transylvania, and you got a family of gypsies. They seem to have some kind of supernatural powers. They seem to be able to transform into birds and stuff, and maybe wolves. I'm not too sure about that, but they can definitely transform, mutate. And it seems like during the story, they end up getting chased around. Somebody ends up figuring out one of their cons and ends up beating one of the kids in that, and ends up being to a big chase, and they end up in the end having to leave their camp, and as they're moving they end up being surrounded by a bunch of werewolves. So then you got that supernatural thing going on, but at the same time every once in a while you have these flashbacks going back to I think it was 200 years earlier or so, still in Transylvania as well, where a guy he's like the like the servant for a vampire guy,
Igor type guy.
Like Renfold or whatever for the Dracula character. So he's brings him bodies and serves him in that, and finally after doing it for so long he gets rewarded to become a vampire, and they end up both staying there, and he ends up taking out the vampire at the end because he wants to become higher, like the higher calling of the two, and that's where it ends.
That's dangerous in some vampire mythos. You kill the head vampire and all the other ones below die.
Yeah,
so that's an interesting take. That they would do that.
I don't know if he actually killed him or just like mortally wounded him for a long time or what. But then next issue, as you see on the cover there, it has all these different types of monsters in that.
Yeah, so you've got like the werewolf, you got this Igor type, and you've got this like Egyptian goddess, Osiris kind of looking.
Yeah, and then in the next
without the bird head.
Next issue, you got some kind of killer gorillas that are fighting like monsters and that too. So this seems to be all over the place, kind of monster wise. So fun read that way. Yeah, it was just interesting read. I liked it.
Yeah. Next up is another one of our favorite publishers, and I feel like we cover a lot of their books, and even when they do their little kid ones, there's Scoot. But this one's not for kids. This one's definitely a Scout Comics label.
Yeah.
That's Cult of Icarus.
And again, this one was supposed to come out last week, and then we got it last week. Oh no, this book comes out this week, but we got it last week.
Yeah.
And I read it, but so I kept it around because I told you last week after reading it was so
about good. This whole pile, when you brought it to me, I even said, after I was doing the research and checking them all out, I said about 2 or 3 things that you actually gave me were supposed to be for this week.
Mm-hmm.
The rest were either advanced, which was I think only one of them,
Mm-hmm.
and the rest were all either last week or prior, just because of delays or
Mm-hmm.
lots of shipping issues and stuff.
Shipping issues, yeah, and paper allotments and stuff. So,
But yeah, Cult of Icarus.
pardon me. So you got Jenna Lynn writing it, no pun intended. And then art, you got Carl Slominski. And this one here again is there's a lot of horror and vampire stuff associated with these books this week, and this one's kind of the same. You got a young woman who's orphaned in kind of, well, she thinks she's orphaned, she's not too sure, in an unusual kind of supernatural car accident. And she's had this book for a whole time in her life, and she knows it has some kind of hidden meaning to it to her parents. So she tracks down the book and a person who's like related to the book to this bookstore, and ends up being a friend of her parents. So that he knows the whole story, and turns out she's connected, and her families are connected to, like, vampires wanting to chase them, and for what reason we don't know. We assume that she maybe is like a chosen person or something. This person there is like a kind of like a Giles from Buffy type thing. He's and works with knows all the occult stuff and
Buffy
like that.
brought up so many times the last couple of days. I don't know why. I wonder if that's some weird, there's going to be a Buffy thing happening, but just either on social media or on TV even, or watching stuff. And I've heard Buffy mentioned quite often, which is not something people talk about too much.
It's pretty, I don't know, lots of reference to that. And then she finds out too that after her parents were killed, it was actually him that put her in the foster system, so she's pretty pissed about that. And then at the end, another person gets involved in that too. So I mean, there's a lot going on there. Obviously, there's a lot of hidden stories and secrets that she doesn't know about. Great art on here. I really liked it. This is another one I'm gonna keep reading on. Yeah, let's see what happens.
Cool.
I mean, a lot of stuff is, and it seems like too with vampires, and vampires are nowadays, it's like they're always some part of like sleeper agents or whatever. They're all interwoven into like the higher society and stuff. So I'm sure it's something like that.
That's
too.
a pretty popular storytelling way.
They've been around so long, they've infiltrated everything.
Yeah, and that's even like what the Peacemaker show has been doing too.
Those same things too.
So this one, I could have swore I had a thing for Behemoth, but maybe when I lost everything, I never went back and got it.
Oh, maybe.
But this is Until My Knuckles Bleed from Behemoth Comics.
Yeah. And it's written and art by Victor Santos, and that's him artwork on the cover there.
Yep.
And it's very much a feel like what do I have here? Sin City. Like if I ever read any of the original Sin City books and that, it feels just like that.
Right.
And what this book is it is a very much of an homage and almost like a parody of 90s comics. So that guy in the cover there, he is kind of like a Cable or X Factor type of dude, where he is
time traveler.
No, he was a 90s hero, and he got like all like the government and everything all jacked him up with like enhancements and stuff like that to become like this
Luke Cage.
Yeah, well, no, with like actual enhancements to like, so he looked like like a 90s hero with like all these enhancements and stuff. And they had a team, and they went and did like no bad stuff, like no G.I. Joe type of stuff, no Black Ape Field stuff, and they were heroes back in the 90s. Well, now it's like they're down on their luck, and people don't appreciate that stuff like nowadays. Like all that stuff's not politically correct, and the heroes nowadays are like, now they are. So he works as a bouncer in the nightclub now, and he's like all screwed up, much like a wrestler would be nowadays. After retiring, his body's all screwed up, and he's hooked on painkillers from all these enhancements, even though they've all been removed. And yeah, it kind of goes from there. It just, and he kind of gets involved in something, like he doesn't really know where it's going, and the only way he knows how to deal with it is like beating people up, and it's kind of, it has a feel like the wrestler did, where kind of a guy's kind of washed up in that, or like Bruce Willis's role in Pulp Fiction, where he's this guy that could have been something, but is not. And again, too much like 90s comics relevancy nowadays, like a lot of stuff you just can't do, right? So
yeah. Give me 22 seconds.
Yeah, I enjoyed that one. That one was supposed to come out last week and just made it this week too. So
yeah. So these next, I think 4 are the ones we were talking about. They're all from the same publisher.
Second Sight.
Second Sight Publishing.
Yeah.
And this one I think some people might have heard of already. It's called These Damn Kids.
Yeah, that came out a month or two ago.
Yeah, it's been still selling well. I know Peg City Comics had a cover for it.
Yeah,
or they were selling a cover for it.
Yeah.
And I think people had seen it at that point, and they heard a bit about it at that point.
Yeah, it was a good book. I quite enjoyed the story. It's kind of like what we were saying too. But yeah, this book was supposed to come out like at least a month or so ago, and it only showed up now. And it seemed like almost like all those books that we were anticipating from Second Sight. Like so the next 4 books all got released at once. But this one was one of the next one I was really looking forward to because it just had a wicked cover from the beginning. But this Damn Kids one, or These Damn Kids,
they do all have very good covers.
They do have awesome covers. These Damn Kids is written by Peter Brew and Bradley Golden, and the art is by Helmut Rocho. And the art in here is awesome. I know I say that all the time, but it is black and white. So again, that might affect some people, but in here it affects the story in just the creepy type of way you want to see it.
Yeah.
And it kind of feels like a little bit like Children of the Corn, where these kids kill all the adults in that. And
that's another thing we've heard quite a bit about in the last couple of days.
Children of the Corn. Well, because we watched that video about it. What this is somehow there's like an evil, grotesque demon that kind of hides in the shadows in that, and convinces the kids to, possesses them and convinces them to kill their parents in that. And
normal raising of a kid, all that stuff.
Oh,
you gotta put up with that. It
but
happens.
They get killed in like very graphic, horrible, disturbing ways. Like the bodies get like cut up and hung up on the wall and made to look like a spider and that with like all their extra limbs.
Oh,
so
it's like some Hellraiser shit.
Yeah, it's totally gross and deforming. And there's no way these kids can do it. So they don't think the kids have done it. They think there's like a serial killer going on. So these kids now have been like locked up in foster care, and they're going to do it again because this demon creature thing that hides, like Pennywise, hides in the shadows and that. So very creepy story. A couple more issues to go at least, and yeah, just again, all these second Sight books are horror related.
Yeah, and like you said, it's kind of like Children of the Corn, so it's got one of them like culty vibe to it.
Yeah,
and I don't know nowadays how much of a cult following there is for stuff. You get like stupid Sharknado and Croctopus and whatever stuff like that, but I don't think it's quite the same as when you had those cult films coming out before.
I don't know. What's Croctopus? I've never heard that before.
It's another one.
Like a crocodile and an octopus?
Yeah, I think it's octopus with a crocodile head or something.
That'd just be a kraken.
I guess. This next one is my favorite cover out of the 4 of them.
I know, this is an amazing cover.
Freakshow Kingdom, again by Second Sight Publishing.
Yeah, this one is cool because it makes me think of Bill Sienkiewicz.
Yeah,
it has like
I think this one actually had 2 covers.
Yeah, I have the second one too. It's more of a painted cover, like a moody cover.
But this one's almost like photorealism.
Yeah, that's
like cosplay.
Yeah, well, not even cosplay, but like photo art.
I know someone could have dressed up in that, and they could have done that.
Yeah,
like,
but
that's almost better than the Walking Dead's look.
So and it's.
But that's probably digital artwork.
Yeah, that cover there, it says Freakshow Kingdom, and there is no kingdom in there. There's no kingdom, and he's not the king of zombies. It's just Freakshow Kingdom is in like a kingdom of stories. And what this is the Freak Show is that's what they call zombies. On The Walking Dead they call them walkers, right? Is that they call them walkers?
Yep.
But they never referred to them as zombies. And here everyone refers to them as freak shows. So there's 2 or 3 stories in here. I think it's 3, and it is the stories about zombies. And they get some creepy, gross stories.
Lots of these stories or I guess these books here, they're like bite size. They're all anthology.
Yeah, and we both kind of figured out that maybe originally these were published like web stories.
Yeah, because Second Sight does do that. When I was looking them up and who they were, they do have some online stuff they do. So it might be that because it says collection, like for one specifically said it was the collection, and I think that's our next one.
Yeah. Oh, that trilogy, that Joe Horn trilogy one.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But this one here is like, and again, it's not stories uh, um, like an action story, like oh they're chasing zombies and we get away in that. A lot of these stories like have the freak show characters in it, but they're kind of secondary. It's more like Ice Cream Man or Ha Ha Ha. Ha 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 ha. More like surreal and melancholy like that. So like the endings aren't happy, but it had no. They're not necessarily due to the freak shows. But
Mhm.
yeah, so interesting.
I love how many
And the art's cool.
anthology series there are.
Yeah.
Because it's great. You can just pick it up. Doesn't matter if it's issue 1 or
Yeah, it's
issue
just enjoyable.
101.
Yeah,
And these guys do it. Aftershock.
everyone does it.
Aftershock has tons of anthology stuff they do.
Mhm.
Those big premium books. What was that After Dark or whatever it was called? That one.
Mhm.
And like I love them. Like I said, Ice Cream Man and
They have another.
Haha.
They have a new one coming up in April
Hmm.
or May.
Who?
Aftershock. A
What?
new horror one shot anthology.
What's that?
That's Spectro.
Oh, right.
So that'd be cool.
Um,
And another one here is this Horn trilogy.
so
Horn Island.
This one is I think one of my second favorite of the four. It's
I like the
I
stories
like the
in here.
colors.
Oh,
the
cover?
actual coloring on it
Mhm.
is not my style, but the colors themselves are really good.
Yeah.
I really like their
the blue. The blue, like the logo.
no, I guess logo, whatever you call it, the
font.
trade, the font, whatever. That looks good.
Yeah, that's cool. Again, this one, after we started talking about it a little bit, this one to me definitely feels like it was like a web story.
Yeah.
Because it's like three very short
And
stories.
it says the trilogy.
Yeah, but and it works in like but these ones actually do follow.
It's one story.
Yeah, it is a trilogy, so it actually does follow a timeline of that. So it's kind of cool. What it is here too is Horn Island is an island off the coast of somewhere in the U.S. I forget. And when they tried to go and colonize it, they sent some people on there, and the woman on the cover there is like this voodoo witch in that, and she killed and chased everybody off with an army of the dead, and that's going on there. So they have that. The first story is them doing that originally. Then the second story is like a little bit more recent, and then the third story is the fellow on there who's like a descendant of somebody from all three stories, and he's trying to again populate the island, and she's chasing him off, and it almost have like a curse between the two of them family wise. So yeah, another one, good zombie stories that I don't know if they call them zombies or undead or just creatures, army of undead.
Yeah,
They're
it's not
cool.
always referred to as zombies. I don't know what they refer to. I don't think they even specifically.
Yeah, she just had like an army of
those things,
monsters. Yeah,
creatures. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a good one too. And these books here too, all three of them, and even the next one here, they were $3.99, and I think one of them was $4.99. I think because it was extra thick. Yeah. But all three of them are oversized to begin with.
They're big
and nice, good covers, like good thick covers, and nice paperwork inside too. So again, Marvel and DC should pay attention to these to these smaller ones.
Well, they're younger companies.
Well, yeah, but these smaller groups putting out better quality, like solid and story-wise. But
I think their margins would take a hit if they start doing that. Look at DC; they do cardstock covers, but they're $1 more.
Yeah, but those ones are okay. I'm talking more like Marvel.
I know what you mean. And this next one, again, Second Sight.
This one is brand new though for this week,
this
one has sold out most places. And again,
that's what happens when it makes it out on time.
Well, no, it just seems like a lot of people have just realized that. Well, I guess probably paper shortages and that too. Maybe a lot of places aren't getting a bunch of copies, but
it could have been all their stuff went to press at the same time.
Yeah, but this one's a great one too, and you got Bradley Golden doing the writing here, and then you got Gleedson Ribeiro doing the art, and the art in here is awesome as well too. It's very colorful, but again, the lines and the shading are very gritty to make it feel like that again, that creepy and feeling. See, you got something there, and again, you can kind of see in the cover there. You don't really know if they're like aliens or demons or monsters
Yeah,
or
I
mutations
saw the
or.
snow and I thought of like a Wendigo type
Well,
character or something.
I was thinking like whenever I see the snow and a monster, I always think of the Thing.
Mm.
So I thought it was something like that. And somewhere they're wiped out on a mountaintop for like a research team is not answering now, and so this other guy has to go in there and he's another like well-known mountaintop climber. I guess they call them mountain explorers, whatever, guides,
Ice
whatever,
climbers.
mountain climbers, and so he's being um, hired by the same rich dude who it's his team that got lost in the first place. So again, it kind of has like that. Why are these? Everyone got killed in this lab up there type of thing. So again, it's super super creepy to me. It made me like right away had like that Thing, the Blob feel to it. But yeah, just another creepy horror story from the second site, and they all their I didn't realize it till I read the one of the ads at the end of this. I think it was this one or the one before is their logo is something like "We do horror" or something like that.
Yeah.
Or at section we're just horror. So
I think
that's all they
their,
focus on.
Their
It's just
motto or whatever. Yeah.
they just focus on like horror and like sci-fi horror and stuff like that. So that's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Well, and I was looking through their back catalog of all their stuff, and it's pretty well all horror stuff.
So that's kind of cool.
Next up, and we've gone through our books pretty quick today, actually. An Aftershock book, and like we were saying, like a premium oversized book,
but not a one shot.
But this one's not a one shot exactly.
First to 3. There was 2 Aftershock books this week. One was this one, and the other one was
Maniac of
New York Bronx is Burning. Yeah.
But yeah, we've got The Lion and the Eagle from Aftershock. We've got Garth Ennis writing on this one,
so you know it's gonna be gritty and in your face and a little offensive, but not offensive like.
You've got just looking at it looks like Vietnam type.
No, it's not. It's I forget what it's called.
No, but looking at it, that's what the vibe it gave me with the trees. And
yeah, it's an Indian war, and I don't know exactly where in history it was. I forget because I read it all at once. But it's the real war that happened in India, and yeah, and it just shows like being a Garth Ennis book and P.J. Hollins.
There was another book that we had covered that was also a war-based one. There's been a couple. One was like they were in a concentration camp, and it was. But there was another one
that was that Out one. That was the vampire one, and that other one too. There Apache. That Apache travel or Apache delivery service.
Something like that. Yeah.
That was in the Vietnam War. Where the guy. Yeah. Because much like horror stuff, in the last little while, war stuff's picking up again too. And war stories are great. And what I saw an interview with Garth Ennis on Aftershock, Happy Hour or Aftershock when they were at C2E2 and they were talking with Garth Ennis, and he said he likes telling these war stories in comics or in like this comic format because you actually get to tell it more truthfully. You get to actually like
a little less censoring.
Yeah, less like you can tell it in a book.
But I mean, a movie and a show, whatever, they do really good, but. Like something like this, it can get very colorful with it without being diluted.
Yeah, it's not like it's a Punisher book from the 90s where he's running around like just shooting faces off.
Yeah.
Which Garth Ennis has written Punisher like that. Yep. But this book here is again, it's like a wartime. I think it's the Indian War, and I forget if I'm getting it wrong, or forgive me. And it just really showcases like how bad and how just horrible mankind can be to each other. They're talking about how these things here are the Indian Army and the British Army, and that's all these things, and they're talking like some of the different torture stuff they've seen, like they've seen what the Japanese were doing in the World Wars, and showing examples of it, and just brutal things that just make you sick, and they're just like why did they do that? Like what to prove that a bomb kills people? Like they had to kill these people to prove a bomb kills people, or they had to prove that and this is how a knife cuts. Like this is just torture stuff. There's no need to do these crazy experiments and that. So it kind of highlights that. Still again a good story because how this is going on. But yeah, anybody who's into anything that kind of war story like or history like, but isn't afraid to see the truth and no graphic in that. Check it out. This and what was the other one I would say was probably my pick of the week. I really liked Cover of Darkness, and I really liked Call to Icarus. I really liked them all actually. I really liked the G.I. Joe one too because it just made me feel nostalgic. I felt like I was reading the old cartoon on an episode I hadn't seen yet. It was almost like
the Batman Adventures Continue. That's another one that they brought back and is doing well.
Yeah, it's almost like a lost episode of the cartoon that they brought back. So,
a great week for books. I wonder if they maybe had some old stuff they pulled off of there.
I think they do something like that because I also saw too. That's one of the last properties that the IDW will have for G.I. Joe. And I still think that now that property is being, I don't know if it's being shopped around. I think somebody else has picked it up already.
Well, it would be that and Transformers.
Yeah, it's all being Hasbro has it, and they'll take it to somewhere else and like, hey, do you want it? Now we're seeing that these other shows are starting up, like cartoon wise. They're gonna try.
Well, I think they just announced, or maybe it was rumored that this new Transformers movie in the works, the ones like Beast, whatever, is the first of a new trilogy.
Well, not even movies like that. I mean, things like they brought back on Netflix. They brought back the old He-Man cartoon and continued on. I know it wasn't popular, but
I've liked it.
I liked it. But then they could do that same thing with G.I. Joe. So again, I think they're kind of
that would be great.
I think they're kind of testing the waters there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so that's it for books. Now
there's all kinds of news and
we'll do our business news. So first up is Dreamwalker. Lots of people have pre-ordered through us. I think we've gone through almost half or just over half.
Just over half of we sold already.
So those they're on their way. They were at the border and they got held at the border for a bit, but we think they tried to come today.
I don't know if that was them or not.
It might have been. It might not. The mail was having. Of course, it happens to us. Even the mailman's having technical difficulties.
Custom issues. Yeah, custom issues. They didn't want to let the books through without paying extra customs. And then it's so cold in Winnipeg right now that when the guy came to the door today to deliver it,
this little pad thing wasn't working.
It was so cold that his device wouldn't even work. So he had to give me a card, and I have to go pick it up tomorrow. So we'll see.
So it could be those.
Either way, they're here next week, and I'll mail those out.
Yep. So that's one thing, and I believe we are getting the 1 in 50 for those, right?
In this?
Dreamwalker? Yeah.
We got the 1 in 50 we're saving for ourselves.
Oh, that one's being saved?
Yeah, we got the 1 in 25 one, and that went to Arnold Trinidad. He was the first one that wanted to respond about it. And Arnold also, I know we mentioned it earlier this week, but Arnold Trinidad won the Stray Dogs Dog Days 2 Peg City cover. So he's going to get that as well. Hi, Arnold, if you're watching.
That's not our only thing we've got going on. That's ended. You missed out on that. Sorry.
So that's in the mail coming back with the Dreamwalker books. Then I'm sure that's what you're going to mention now. But.
I was going to talk about the Hugh Rookwood sketch cover that we were going to be doing away for passing that.
Yeah, we said once he got to 400, or we got to 400, or once we got to the 1 year mark, which will be in March, and we are so close on both counts right now. So when I checked last before the show started, it was 390. So thank you for everyone who's joined in the last little while.
Well, yeah, tons of people joined in the last while.
Yeah, and that's awesome. And,
390. Look at that.
And it worked out well because, like I said, Arnold joined recently, and he won a book, and then he also got access to that awesome book that nobody else will ever have.
Yep.
So we're gonna draw the Hugh Rookwood one next. Well, I guess it'll either be next week or in the next couple of days. Either way.
Yeah.
We'll do it live when it happens.
Yep. And then for those of you that pre-ordered Chicken Devil and Swamp Dogs graded copies from CBCS, I believe they went to.
Yeah, because they were all
signed copies and whatnot.
Yeah.
Those are also on their way back. Those should be here very soon.
Next week as well, because today's Thursday.
Yep. So we should have those by early mid next week. See how that goes.
Yep.
Next week for sure.
Lots of invoicing, fun.
Yeah.
And packing.
Yeah.
Oh, and speaking of autograph Swamp Dog books, by next week too, hopefully. Oh, you know what? That's probably what that box was today.
Oh,
That was the box
yes.
probably from
From
JM.
JM,
I was gonna
yes.
say we have books that should be arriving any day now. Our Swamp Dog books that we
That's
sent down to
right.
JM to get autographed. So that's probably what that box was today.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot those were coming back.
Well, I was gonna mention it. I just mentioned it, and I forgot that's probably what that box was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
so that's here tomorrow. So when those get in next week, we'll have some. We'll have show some of those. JM autographed a bunch of the Swamp Dog books for us, not just our copies, a couple other copies of the regular copies and that. So we'll figure out something
He's
for
been
that
great
too.
to work with and great to talk to.
He's a good dude. Oh,
Um,
speaking of, his Swamp Dogs #3 is the FOC is tomorrow.
that's what I was gonna say.
Get it.
That one's a key book. He said it
Even
during the
he said
interview.
buy an extra copy or
Mm-hmm.
two. There'll be that's a key book for that series now.
Mm-hmm. Gonna be a big series once some of their secret deals that they have in the works go through.
Well, it's not even that. Once the whole paper issue, let's go back to some normal schedule stuff too.
Yeah. So that's it for Natdaddy news.
No, we got a little bit more. Oh, for Natdaddy news.
For Natdaddy news, yeah. So
Well,
we still have some.
There's one more little thing that we'll start hinting at. Is in when the spring comes, we're gonna have something blossoming.
Wow.
That worked out pretty good, I guess.
Not really.
Oh, okay.
We
got a new book coming soon.
Yeah.
We'll go there.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we can say at least that we are working with an artist and with a publisher on a book, not joined with anyone. That one, it's purely just us.
Yeah.
One of our favorite artists, one of our favorite publishers. That's all we'll say. So, moving on, we got Peacemaker. The final episode was today, and we just managed to squeeze in and watch it before the show.
Yeah.
Without Book of Boba Fett on this week, it felt like, and stuff is on hiatus with the Olympics.
Yeah.
It just felt like I had nothing to watch, and I forgot this was coming, so we had to sort of rush to watch it.
Yes.
But awesome, great last episode.
Yeah. This again, there was a couple of scenes in here today that almost made me tear up a little bit. This is a
shockingly.
This is a great show. Like we've said it all the way along. It's funny and violent.
It's been good from issue 1 to 8.
Such a great character development, and we forgot to mention too. For the Dreamwalker books there that we still have some copies for sale.
We said we've gone through only half.
Oh, well, yeah. In case we didn't mention it,
we're past that.
We still have copies for sale.
Yeah, but this has been a great series, and it's officially been confirmed that they are greenlighting a second season, and it's already going to be in the works.
Yeah, we mentioned a couple of weeks ago they said that they were going to do one because they said that, but they said confirm today for today's episode.
The only issue I have with that is, by the end of this, they do have a couple of, not plot hooks, but something happens where it's a pretty big deal, and then where it leaves off with the rest of the characters, no huge, big revelations for people, but just you want to see where they go, and knowing that there's a second season, that's intriguing. However, like I had said when it went to credits, like, that's awesome, this looks great, but it's really hard to give a shit when the Flash movie is going to do a Flashpoint and reset all of it.
Yeah, I don't know about... Yeah, I mean, that's supposed to happen too, and I don't know...
Who knows how much it'll change. Yeah. Maybe it'll just be specific things, but that's set on the back of my mind when they did that. So these are some great plot threads. I'd like to see them be pulled on.
Because at the end of this episode, the daughter there who was like a spy for her mom, Amanda Waller's daughter. Yeah, she reveals to the world about it all, so she kind of
Force X.
Yeah, it brings all that to light. So I mean, that's a huge revelation for the DC universe. That kind of like Shield coming to letting them know about Shield and the backdoor Avengers and that.
Yeah,
and also too, the Justice League was in there.
Yeah.
Like, how did...
An actual Ezra Miller Flash, Jason Momoa Aquaman actually in it.
Yeah.
And they swear.
Yeah, and they swear. they show a silhouette of, Batman and Gal Gadot. Or not Batman, sorry, Superman and Gal Gadot. They don't show them, but they actually show, and like I said, Momoa and Jason Azera talk. And I thought that was weird, too, because those are the two guys who, like, have been so controversial the last couple of years, and they've tried
No,
to phase out.
those two are the ones for sure staying. I don't think Gal Gadot is going to go anywhere, but Henry Cavill, Superman, Ben Affleck, Batman, they've already said that this Flash is going to be his final movie. They've hinted that he might have a
I
couple
was just very
things,
surprised that they were in there for one thing.
and they didn't even have Cyborg at all. He's not on the slate. I don't think
Oh,
anything's
it was
happening.
him that was doing all the bashing.
It was
It
him.
wasn't Flash.
Yeah.
But
No,
yeah,
Ezra Miller is what he loves.
I was so shocked to see them in there because throughout the whole series they've been like, mentioning people in passing, and
that's another thing I wanted to.
yeah,
bring up.
they actually brought him into like the real universe.
They,
I know he's
they
in the real
mentioned
universe.
so many heroes that we haven't seen on screen, like goofball stuff like Batmite.
Dynamite. Oh yeah, Batman. Yeah.
But they've also name dropped people like Green Arrow, who's a personal favorite of mine. I've always loved Green Arrow. I love archery, and I love the Arrow show, the comics, all of it.
Green Arrow.
And
they mentioned
to have
Green
him actually
Lantern.
mentioned, like that's a pretty huge deal because he's not been in it. But again, when they go in, how much are they going to erase? It's
pretty funny though.
It's tough. So that was it for Peacemaker. No, well, I guess we kind of have Disney Plus Star Wars related stuff. That's the ObiWan Kenobi show. I thought it was just called Kenobi, but now they've changed it to ObiWan Kenobi.
I thought it was just called Obi-Wan.
Let's see, yeah, maybe they changed it twice. It's coming May 25th, and they announced that there's a new comic series. I think it's 5 issues or something starting up in May. Mm-hmm. And I had said to you when I saw that, I said, I bet that Obi-Wan series is going to be starting around May. And sure enough, this week, I think it was this week anyway, they announced that it was, and they gave us this poster. And that's a wicked poster. Mm-hmm. Nothing crazy going on in it, but really nice. I wonder if it'll have the same vibe as the Mando and Book of Boba, or it's more of a country.
I don't know.
But it's great. Everyone's talking online. The actors they're hiding a lot, but they're fully open, saying, "Yeah, it was great to have Obi-Wan and Anakin on screen. It was great to." Ewan McGregor said it was great to work with Hayden Christensen as Anakin again. So flashbacks may be happening.
Yeah, I know.
It's sounding really promising. Not that any of us are too surprised by that. I don't think.
They've been saying for a long time that it was going to be something with Obi-Wan, but they didn't really say what. I've always heard it's going to jump around. Like it could be like Clone Wars and flashbacks.
Yeah.
And,
yeah, in the comics, he's been dealing with like PTSD type symptoms and whatnot. Great. And then on the Marvel side of news, which is a weird move,
broke the internet.
They released a trailer before the Super Bowl, like a half an hour to an hour before it even started.
And I think it eclipsed the Super Bowl, to be
Totally.
honest.
That was a wicked trailer.
Yeah.
I almost pulled up another picture here just because I thought it was funny. If you take a look, and I don't know if people are on their phones or their iPads or whatever, it's tough to see. All the little shards of glass have faces and bits and pieces. Someone says they see Deadpool in it. Someone says they see Captain Carter's shield. And the Captain Carter's shield one is actually the shield. I did see that one. Yeah. The Deadpool one's very blurry. You can't tell. But what I was going to be saying is someone went in and circled each one and said who it was, if it was a variant or whatever. Super weird. But yeah,
that looks great. And you can definitely see Sam Raimi's touch on there.
Oh, totally. That zoom in on the eye.
Well, not even just that. It just looks... So, I mean, the other Doctor Strange movie was really good. But this one definitely...
I really liked it.
Oh, yeah, I loved it. But this one definitely has the horror feel to it. And Marvel now is definitely switching into a branching off. Like, they went superheroes, then they were going cosmic. Now they're going into other horror stuff. Mm-hmm. And then they go from horror into westerns. So, I mean, don't be surprised. And then they're going to do war stuff as well, too. But war is always tough. Yeah, awesome.
I did have some more I just remembered I wanted to put up, but I don't have it. Well, these ones are pretty big, though. I'll just do it off my phone. I'll do it the Nathan way of things. Throw them off my phone. So this one's not too much. It's stuff for Thor, Love and Thunder. A company that's doing like the high quality toys, like the Mafex and stuff, showed off some stuff for Thor: Love and Thunder. One being Thor in his outfit here. Oh, that comes across pretty decently actually. So that one's neat. We sort of knew what Thor was going to look like already anyway. But we've gotten our first really good look at Jane Foster as Lady Thor, or whatever they want to call her.
Just call it Thor.
So that's pretty interesting. I thought it looked pretty good. It's a shitty quality on there, but it's actually really good looking.
I don't mind it.
I wonder if they'll call her Thor. I wonder if they'll make her Valkyrie right away.
No.
Who knows? I know we had a couple more things. Oh,
Sad stuff.
some sad stuff. Yeah. Wow. I didn't line this up very well. We shouldn't end at that.
No, that'd be smart.
I know everyone was sending stuff off for the George Perez signing, his final signing at CGC. But unfortunately, last week or early last week, Mr. Perez took a turn for the worse, and they had to cancel the signing.
Yeah.
It's
Monday,
super.
they announced it.
Yeah. So it's super unfortunate.
Didn't surprise me because they postponed it a week or two ago, and I said,
Yeah.
"Well, how long are they gonna postpone it for?"
Yeah.
Remember, I think it was last episode.
But we've seen pictures of him recently, and
I saw a picture of him
he looks
today.
like he's in good spirits, but he doesn't look like he's doing well.
No.
So I think it's probably in his best interest and his family's best interest that they did cancel this.
Yeah, he looks happy, and that's what
Yeah.
it needs to be. So that's very sad. But then CGC, oh, they always announce the crazy signings no matter what.
Yeah.
They announced 2 more yesterday, and then another one today. They announced Shooter yesterday. No, Starlin. Sorry, Starlin. And then Wolfman. And then today they did announce Clayton Crane.
Ooh.
So
I didn't see that.
yeah,
Crane's a good one.
This afternoon. So they're always announcing crazy signatures. Yeah, and then earlier this week too, Ivan Reitman passed away. And that was very sad too. But we all known he'd been sick for a long time too,
Yes.
and unfortunately, that's what happens. We all kind of.
I do think it's great that Ivan Reitman did the original 2 Ghostbusters.
He did.
I don't think he
tons
was
of stuff.
involved in that weird female one. I don't think he was involved.
No.
But then his son took up the mantle and did Ghostbusters Afterlife, which was a direct sequel to those original movies and a real love letter to his father's work.
And it was same thing too with Harold Ramos passing before that too.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It was nice to see they passed.
So
and
I think
it's amazing how much
great that it came full circle.
It's amazing how much his son there looks like he did when he
was
young.
You know what? I was thinking the same thing when I was pulling up that older picture there, and I thought, wow, they look very similar.
Yep. Oh, that was very sad too.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I have here for that. I know you had a couple other things that I don't have pictures for. Oh, that's not what I want.
I have that's pretty much. Oh, I wanted to talk about again because I like to cover everything because we're pop culture related in that entertainment wise, and kind of big news that happened earlier this week is I don't have one. I got rid of them because I hate them.
Yeah. not after this news.
No,
you didn't like him before.
Yeah, I just never cared for him really. But I respect all what he's done, and that is that wrestling related news is Cody Rhodes and his wife Brandy Rhodes are leaving and have left AEW, and there's a big rumor that he's going back to WWE,
which is shocking.
Huge.
Not that he's going to WWE,
the fact that he just left.
He's one of the creators.
Yeah, it was him and the Young Bucks and the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega that were there with Tony Khan, the guy that provides all the money.
Yeah.
But apparently, in the last little while, and those guys were all like super close friends. But in the last little while, I guess things have some of their relationships have deteriorated a little bit. Those 4 wrestler guys are, they're like what they call executive vice presidents, but I guess they didn't really have a whole lot of say. They on certain departments, like Kenny Omega is definitely involved with like video games and stuff like that because that's like his niche. And Matt, the 2 brothers were like the T-shirts and promos and stuff, and Cody wanted to be like to be referred to as like a booker, like his dad, right?
Yeah.
And then I guess a little while ago, Tony Khan had said in an interview and then started saying a little bit more that no, this is my company and I'm the boss and this is what I do. I'm GM, I'm Booker, I'm this and that. So I guess Cody took that little offense to that or a little sensitivity and again they kind of drifted away a little bit and so yeah he's decided to leave. It's just that's just crazy because that's just like I don't know like it'd be like if Batman. Yeah, it'd be like if Batman left to go join the Avengers. You know, like it's just kind of weird. It's just yeah. So the first no, for the past 2 years, ever since AEW started, it's been every WWE star possible. When they get fired or when their contract's up,
They go to
they
AEW.
migrated over, and now that they're letting them go.
Maybe WWE is smartened up and they're trying to reacquire some people.
No, well,
they're still letting people go left, right, and center and cutting people's contracts short.
yeah, but what they'll do is they'll take Cody because that's just looks like they stole him all back, and then that's just and then it'll just brings more attention to them. But they were saying too, like, and now that with AEW that they signed all these wrestlers a couple of years ago when the pandemic started, and now a lot of their contracts are coming up, and they're trying to figure out like who's worth keeping around.
Yeah,
because they wanted to keep everybody around while the pandemic was going on, and they figured that Cody, with everything going on, he was starting to be kind of like a bit of a headache backstage, and they didn't know what he was going to do out front. Like he had some weird promos and stuff lately, and even people were commenting on that before all this went down. So they figured he was kind of a liability, and maybe his money could be used better elsewhere. Like, and they brought in Cody is a great wrestler, always puts on a good show in that. But now with these other talents they brought in, like CM Punk and Moxley was already there.
Lots of the young guys.
Well,
those. There's lots of young guys that are like high flyers, and they're god.
But not even that. Like guys
dudes jump like 14 feet in the air.
Yeah,
it's like a frog.
Oh yeah, Dante Martin. But they're like guys like Adam Cole and Daniel Bryan's over there, or Bryan Danielson, I should say, is over there now, and they keep bringing more of these other guys in that where Cody's not. He's not the draw that he was when it first started, and especially that he's acting weird. And even before all this, he's a baby face, and they were booing him. Like the crowd, like people just literally just don't like him. So I think he kind of and apparently I'm hearing mixed stuff about his wife there, Brandy. That some people said she wasn't like backstage in the locker room, and other people saying that's not true. But you'll never know. But it's just very weird how that happened.
Yeah, there's always a lot going on with wrestling. And it was like that back in the 80s too, back and forth people and
this is definitely the first thing like that. Like when Scott Hall and Kevin Nash went over to the WCW to form the New World Order and all that, the Outsiders, that was nobody knew about that either, right? It's crazy. So yeah, we like to cover everything here. Wrestling's one of my favorite things to watch too.
Yeah, and that covered our time to get us at least more close to that regular hour mark we aim for. I think that's all we got.
Yeah, so if anybody wants, I said, if you have a Dreamwalker book, it'll be going out next week when we get it. Same with the Swamp Dog and the Chicken Devil slabs. And if anybody wants a Dreamwalker, well, I was going to say Chicken Devil or a Swamp Dog book. We have copies of those. Yeah, and we'll see what we have for the autograph ones for JM too. And eventually we're supposed to get some back from Brian. I should message him and see what's going on with those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Awesome. Check out Tag Saturday night, people.
Yeah. What do we say on the show when we're signing off?
Be appreciative. Respect everyone. Peace out. Oh, support everyone. Peace out.
There we go. See you guys.